welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy and today I'm going to be giving you a prediction reading for the 5th of April. Now I'm just here with my doggos. I'm about to take them for a big walk and I sprocket. So they're here just chilling out with me. Well, I don't know how much chilling they're going to do because they're a bit excited about their walk. So I'll just close my eyes and I'll just let my guides channel through to you. And we'll just see what comes up for the oh, doggy kisses. Aren't they nice? We'll just see what comes up for the 5th. I love you too. Okay. Now I'm definitely, oh, that's Sophie. She's behind me here. You can just see her. There she is. Now I'm getting, sorry, I'll just get back on track now. They're very distracting, aren't they, these big dogs of mine? Now, we are implementing change. It doesn't matter what is currently going on. We are the ones that are implementing change. We are making change. Now, I'm getting that the foundation has been laid. So we have laid this very firm foundation of truth. So whenever you're building something, it starts from the ground up. You have to do things in layers and stages. So each stage is starting to bring out the truth. So this is what I'm definitely getting today, is that the truths are starting to layer on top of each other. Now I think we can definitely see that when it comes to people like Robert Malone, Joe Rogan. There's a lot of truths that are starting to filter out now. And this is also around the Pfizer data. We know that those truths are coming out and they're enormous. If anybody's interested in those, go and check those out, because that is just a horrifying amount of data that is coming out about these vaccines. Now, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting these layers of truths. Now, we know that during this whole last couple of years, there's been lies over lies over lies over lies. And if we look at media and the information that's been getting put out, we know that we have been getting really seriously lied to, and it's had an impact on all of our lives. The fact that we get fact checked, we get told we're doing misinformation all the time, and then suddenly that comes out and it ends up being the truth. That's just, what even is that? Like, that's just lies. It's lies. So this is what I'm getting about. The truths are starting to build. Now, this is a process, and I do believe it'll go into 2023, because waking people up is a very, very difficult task, because what happens is people go straight into denial. So people don't want to feel like they've been lied to. They don't want to feel like they've made the wrong choice. They don't want to feel like they're going to be vilified if they stand up against these things now. So this is what I said yesterday in my video, that these people are now at a crossroads where they feel like, what have they done? Now, a lot of people are starting to feel this, and this is why I talk about in April, I feel like there will be this large movement. Sprocket. He's funny, isn't he? Oh, he does make me laugh, this dog, sometimes. There's this mass movement and increase in the fight backs. I'm definitely getting that for April, that there will be a lot of people starting to stand up in their own power and their own truths. Now, I believe that a lot of us who have been on that freedom fighting journey and these kind of things, we have found our little lot in life now. We've kind of put ourselves over here and we've detached and sort of displaced ourselves from the drama. And I think that's a very safe place to be, because I feel like in April, this is going to be a really tumultuous month with a lot of people rising up. And this is part of the awakening process. I talk about that spiritually evolving into who we really are and how we're having to go through those soul breakdowns. Well, this is what's happening to a lot of these people. They're starting to be faced with a lot of the truths now of what's actually been going on, what's been hidden, what's been kept from them. I think we know a lot of this data. That's just horrifying that wasn't released and people couldn't make an informed decision. I've had people say it to me, I made an informed decision. And you kind of go, what informed decision? You didn't have the information. But if we tried to tell you, we were classed as misinformation and taken off Facebook or, gosh, fact-checked on everything. But now this is starting to come out. So all these conspiracies are now starting to line up. And this is like I'll get back to the train analogy. The carriages are getting put on the train now. Like, here's your train. Let's put this carriage on, and let's put this carriage on, and let's put this carriage on. And this, what's happening is this train is getting too heavy to pull for these people. This is around the people who have complied. Their train is just building, and each carriage that's getting put on their train is making it harder for them to pull, because what's happening, it's weighing them down. So this is what's starting to weigh them down now, is they're carrying, the people who have complied over the past couple of years are being weighed down by questions. They're being weighed down by the truths coming out. They're being weighed down by conspiracy theories that are coming true. There are a lot of carriages being put on their train that are sort of almost holding them back and keeping them stuck now. So if you're watching this video, there's a high probability that you've sort of cut the ties and you've freed yourself from all the drama and the chaos and the stupidity, I would say. And you've actually found that way to navigate this in that way of freeing yourself from all this, I don't even know, ridiculous mess, I guess you could put it. So now this is where I feel in April that the people who have been complying and being dictated to are starting to get weighed down by all of this. It's almost getting too much for them to process, and it's too much for them to handle. So each carriage is like more stuff. So we've got the COVID, the Pfizer data being released. We've got a lot of doctors starting to talk out about the truths and how they've been silenced by APRA and different things like this. So a lot of factual evidence is actually coming out because, hi Sophie, people are starting to figure out the truths now. They're finding out the information. It is starting to come to the surface. And this is where the truths are being put on top of the truths, on top of the truths. So it's almost like building that tower. Here we have the Tower of Lies. And up here on the penthouse suite, we have all the elites living. And here we have the truths that are slowly starting to build. So our tower is starting to go up. So that's a really good visual that I want you to keep in your mind today, is that the truth tower is starting to build. And it's showing me that next to the Tower of Lies. I'll just see what else comes up today. It's brilliant. Oh, my dogs. I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. Sophie, come here. Come on. Up. Dogs. So I'm getting that their plans are really unfolding. So around this Great Reset, there's been a lot of plans that have become very clear to all of us where this is kind of heading. Like, we're heading down that road of dictatorship. Oh, sorry about my dogs. Sophie. Dictatorship. Communist China is kind of what I'm kind of getting at. And this is what they're kind of alluding to. They're wanting to take us down this road where they have complete control of our finances, our everything. The way we live our lives, the way we eat. There's going to be a lot of control. And I think if anyone looks at any video, Sophie, come on up. Any videos of Shanghai at the moment, they're all in suits, they're all being tested, they're having a zero tolerance, and this is what they want for the masses. They want us to be controlled. And this is what I'm getting about the plan. This is their plan. This has been their plan. Good girl. This has been their plan the whole time, is to push this agenda. But this is why in April I'm getting that the people are seeing things and people are waking up. They're getting the smarts. When things don't add up, people have to go back and do the maths. And things aren't adding up. Here in Australia, I did talk about they're actually really, really pushing that fourth booster now. They're saying it's for the vulnerable and the weak and the elderly and all this immunocompromised and all that. But we know that that's going to end up being for everybody. And they're still pushing it for young people as well here in Australia. So that's what's currently happening here. I'll just see what else comes through. Sorry about my dogs. They're quite disruptive sometimes, aren't they? Now, this is all on a global scale. I do believe that the masses are awakening. So April is a very, very big pivotal part in this mass awakening. It's really disturbing people now, how they're feeling. They're feeling like they've made mistakes. They're feeling like they may have damaged their bodies. Can you imagine how that would feel to know you've injected what into your body and you weren't given all the information, and now there you are with it in your body? How do you get that out of your body? This is the kind of stuff. They feel foolish because they fell for the trap. You got to imagine what these people are going through. They had, when you've been locked into a psychosis, it's very challenging to see things any other way. But now when they're starting to wake up and they're having those soul breakdowns and those spiritual awakening processes, it becomes a shock. And I talk about that soul shock, and I talk about people going through their like dark nights of the soul. I've got videos on those if you want to check out the process of waking up. Because this can cause a lot of depression, suicide. I know over here in Australia, I don't know what's happening in your countries, maybe if you comment down below. There's a huge rise in mental health in teenagers. It's like huge. And I even had a video pop up yesterday that they're actually putting defibrillators, which are for the heart. They're actually putting them in suburban streets in Melbourne because heart conditions are on the rise. And no one's even questioning that. Now, these are the kind of things that people might start to wake up, because we've never had defibrillators in suburban streets or put on houses, and now they're starting to put them everywhere, saying that heart issues are on the increase. Now, if that's not a red flag and an alarm bell for people to wake up, I don't know what is. Maybe there's things like this happening where you are. Just let me know down below. But definitely getting that. April is going to be this month of soul shock, soul awakening. People are going to go through their dark night of the soul. There's huge shifts on the planet. I'm really getting that. It's time for a real mass awakening. And these are the stages that we go through. You know, people wake up in groups, and then another lot wakes up, and then something else triggers another lot. It's like in Canada when the bank accounts got frozen. The money factor woke a lot of people up, and people started to panic purely because of finance. So there's all different reasons that cause people to wake up. I'll just see what else we get today. Sprocket is busting to go for a walk. Won't be long. It's got to hold my hand. You know, he holds my hand. Oh, I love this dog. Look, I do get Denmark a lot today. I'm getting that Denmark is a real part of the grid. So Denmark is very important in this grid that they're setting up. So it's like they've set up the grid across the country. So I know Australia... Oh, I'm boring you, am I, Sprocket? I know that Australia has been definitely part of this big reset. And we only need to look at Greg Hunt here is putting... I think it was yesterday, $34 million into some medical facility that's going to do some genetic sequencing, or I don't even know. They use all these sort of medical words and terminology, but crazy amounts of money are going into this reset. And this is happening globally. So I'm feeling like Denmark, you're very pivotal in this. That's what I'm definitely getting. I'm definitely getting that... Denmark, you're playing a big role in this. And there's going to be a big fight back in Denmark. I feel like Denmark is starting to see a lot of corruption. There's a lot of fear. People are standing up because they can see what's unfolding. Oh, this is like global. It's not just... I definitely get Denmark. You're important to this agenda. Canada obviously is crucial. You've got a lot of things in Canada in the parliaments that are unfolding. I get that a lot of people are actually currently watching your parliament because people are wanting to know what the outcomes are going to be, where their life is headed, what's going to unfold. People are nervous, and this is what causes this shock awakening process. I also get America. I still get America the Brave. America is still fighting. their lights are going on. So I'm getting like, we know Florida's had their light on for the whole journey, but there's other states that are starting to switch the light on now, and people are standing up and people are trying to get their freedoms back, because I think in America too, you've got a lot going on at the moment around the Biden sagas. I won't say too much about that, but there's a lot of this corruption and uncertainty, and people feel like, well, were things rigged? Has this been a big agenda the whole time? This is what's kind of going on in America. People are really starting to rise up, and they're really starting to see their truths now, and it's that uncertainty moving forward, because you've got this leader that's very, very shaky, I think we could say at the best of times, who's leading a country and making massive decisions, especially when it comes to war. He's just implementing things kind of willy-nilly with no logic sort of to anything. So I feel like in America, that's what's happening. There's a lot of confusion. There's going to be a lot of fight back. April's going to be a month of, like I said, awakening processes for a lot of people. There's just a lot unfolding in America. There's a lot of, I get really terrible, like, stomach when it comes to America. It's like a sick feeling. I feel like you guys feel a bit sick. It feels like you've been winded. So it's like you've had the wind knocked out of your sails. Like, whatever hits you this month is going to be a real shock. And again, it's that... Well, not for the people who are the freedom fighters and the people standing up against mandates and things. You've already gone through yours, but this is for the ones that are waking up. They're going to get really hit with like these, they're going to get winded like a football's hit you in the stomach. I'm definitely getting that, and that's why they go into that soul shock and then that awakening process. So America, you've got a lot going on this month. New Zealand, New Zealand, things are really crashing over there. I really feel like you're financially crashing. Now, you have a lot of subgroups. I talk about this a lot. You have a lot of subgroups. You've got a very warrior type energy at the core of your being in New Zealand, and you don't like the way this is all playing out. People are starting to see in New Zealand, and something is capturing their attention, and they don't like it. They don't like the way the country is heading. So in New Zealand, I feel like you've always been, we know, very tribal, but it's a very authentic part of your being in New Zealand. And that's that connection to the earth. If you think of anybody doing the haka, New Zealanders doing the haka are very stable in their stance. They're very strong. They have a very, what's the word? Very, it's a very clear vision. When you look at their face, they have a very clear vision when they're doing the haka. Now, this is what I'm saying about at the root of New Zealand is this very stable, tribal, warrior-like energy that keeps everybody's kind of together. But I feel like what's been happening has been ripping people apart. So this is why there's all these kind of subdivisions. There's the people who are unjabbed, there's the people who are double jabbed, there's the people who don't want boosters, and there's also like a real native element that is fighting to get their freedoms back. So there's a lot of subgroups in New Zealand, but I feel like April as well, you guys might really start to form more of a collective, because you do not like where your country is going. And if we think of Jacinda Ardern being a global leader, we know where her agenda is. She tried to do the false normal by opening up the borders and pretending everything's back to normal and wonderful and we're getting on with the show. But I think people are seeing through that now. The veils have lifted. They just want the truth now, and they want that transparency. People are sick of being lied to, and that's what I'm getting in New Zealand. I get people have just had enough. They've had an absolute gutful. Ooh. There's a lot going on this month of April. Australia, oh gosh. I feel like Australia, you're going to be, we are going to be revisiting a lot of old triggers, wounds, plans. It feels like history is just repeating itself again. We've been living a fair bit of freedom at the moment in Australia, and it's been really nice. We haven't had masks, we haven't had QR codes, everything kind of just came to a standstill. But I did talk about, I do believe that was around the voting that's coming in May for our Prime Minister. So I feel in Australia that we are in this lull period because things are going to take off and they're going to really ramp this up. I feel like after the election, there's going to be some really big changes implemented in Australia. And they're still going to try and run us as separate states. They're still going to leave it up to the state premiers to run their own states. So don't think just because we get a new leader that he's going to take charge and the federal government is going to start to step in and get everybody on the same page. It's not going to happen. We're still going to be run as separate little entities, and we're going to be dictated to according to our premiers and what they're wanting to implement in each state. So we still don't have that freedom in Australia. We're still not going to have that freedom for quite a long time. There's not going to be that continuous flow around the country, and we've felt that before when the states shut their borders and this kind of thing. And look, don't be surprised if that happens again. That's what I'm getting for Australia. So really, that's something to think about, is to get your voting right. When that election's coming up, try to vote independents, get them into the parliament so we have more say in our lives moving forward. I think there's a few videos you can actually check out on Topher Fields, and GTV's got one as well that can teach you how to vote correctly to get the independents into parliament. We really need to do that so we can get our voices into parliament. Otherwise, we're just going to have no say. And I do believe that mandates will come back a little bit in Australia. I just have that feeling. And this is globally too. I don't think it's just going to be Australia. I think we're going to all be looking at, oh gosh, a future of mandates. And look, I know that's a really terrible thing to have to say, but if we want to stand up against this, we really have to keep moving now. This is a crucial part of our lives where we have to really stand up. This is our golden pocket or window rather of opportunity, and we still have to keep fighting this fight and standing up and not getting complacent because they've tricked us, pretending things are normal. And this is globally, this is for everybody out there, that they've tricked us that, oh, we're back, everything's back to normal, what he is all worried about. And suddenly, as we know, here comes the XE variant of Omicron surging across the country again, which helps push boosters, doesn't it? So these are the things you have to kind of be aware of to keep standing up and keep getting that strength in you to fight and keep moving forward. That's why I always focus on taking really good care of yourself. I'll just see what else we get. Look, I get this all around the globe. The global elites on their big tower of lies are shaky. They're not feeling so secure anymore. Now, the whole 2 years they had really good stability. They felt strong in their agenda. They had their plans going forward. Everything was going to just absolute clockwork. But now it is shaking. It's almost showing me like earth tremors are causing things to shake. Now, when things shake, it makes things unstable. So their plan, as we know, has been very interrupted by the Canadian truckers, and now it is not as stable as it was. So they're trying to reel things in, and they're trying to implement things that can actually regain that stability and that strength. I told you here about the mosquito virus, how they were talking about that after the floods, and Japanese encephalitis or something, that you could get jabs for that. So it's like they were throwing everything at us to try and control people again, but it hasn't worked. And I don't think anyone even took that up. If you look at the booster hubs here that they've set up in Australia, no one's there. They're showing it on Avi Yemeni, who does Rebel News here, shows that there's nobody at the booster hubs. So people are hesitant now. So this is why things are getting shaky. The plan isn't actually going like clockwork anymore. And when things start to shake, things start to fall and things start to crumble. And this is when the building starts to collapse. So they're trying to like prop up the building and patching it up with cement and putting stakes around the bottom to keep it strong because it's starting to collapse. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. You've got to know that these lies and these elite people up here, things are starting to crumble and their tower of lies is starting to collapse. And the truth tower is being built. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Keep spreading those truths and sharing your information because it is making a difference. So look, stay strong, everybody. I love hearing from you guys. Please comment. Let me know how you're going out there. Hit those like buttons. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I also, just to let anyone new to my channel know, I do have a lot of self-help videos on depression, dark night of the soul, anxiety, fears, if you're wanting some tips on how to navigate those things. And I will see you in that next video. Bye from Australia, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.